Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Hopefully this is something that you guys can really enjoy, as what I want to be able to do with this channel is just to be able to do whatever really, but really kind of try and find out what it is that I want to do. And today I want to talk about a beautiful city that kind of may be lost within the hype of so many other cities in its surroundings, but it's just as beautiful and as good as a city to be able to visit and to be able to have fun and spend time. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I put a lot of thought into this and was really able to get to know and see this beautiful city that I really wanted to share with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it. Now, when people come to Chile, they so often come to the same old places, have so many tourists and so many people going through. They skyrocket the prices for food, knickknacks, gifts, and people end up spending so much money on a place where so many people have been, taking so many of the same pictures, instead of discovering these beautiful new places. What are these places? Where can I find these places? How do I get to these places? Well, those are some of the few things I'll be able to go through in this video of one of the places that I fell in love with when I recently went there. And it's a beautiful city called Cartagena. When I say Cartagena, no, I am not talking about Colombia. I am talking about Cartagena, Chile. Cartagena, Chile is in the region of Valparaíso. It has over 22,000 people in population. It was founded the 10th of August 1901, making it over 120 years old. Cartagena is locally broken up into two beaches, known as the Big Beach and Little Beach. Both are absolutely stunning and amazing, and you have a beautiful path that connects the two. The path literally will go from the small beach, walking through the coast until you get to the big beach, which is where a lot more of the restaurants are at, a lot more of the locals are, a lot more people are in general. And usually this is the big beach where most people will come to swim in the summer and things of that nature. If you want a more local type of vibe and feel of Chilean culture, this is definitely the place you want to see. And it's not as expensive as many of these other touristic beach cities in Chile. Let me give you an example. Cartagena has incredibly classic and good Chilean food, mainly which is known as seafood like reineta, merluza, salmon. And usually you ask for that with a side of a lo pobre, which means you get a side of fries, grilled onions, and an egg. Now, depending on your taste, this sounds quite good or it doesn't. But what does sound good is that most of these plate prices were starting at 5,000 pesos for a full meal, which is only about $6 to $7. Not only do you get good food for this price, but you also get some good drinks. The most well-known and the most offered while I was there was pisco sours. So if you like some pisco sours and you like having a good time, then this is a place where you can definitely let the fun begin for not a very high price. Cartagena is a very interesting place because when you visit this place, you feel like it's almost stuck in time. And this is not only to Cartagena, but many different parts of Chile, many different cities feel like they've been stuck in the same place for 10, 20, 30 years. Many of these types of cities really peaked between the 40s, 50s, all the way up to the 1970s, 1980s. And you see these older looking cities that you can tell hit their peak several years ago. Now, this doesn't take away from the beauty of the city. It actually shows how much history is involved in this city. But many things have been able to have been carried through over the years and have become a part of the Chilean culture and a part of these cities' cultures. Several things, as you can see here, like playing in arcades, people buying candy along the coast as they walk along the beach, or even a place like this, where you have a Virgin statue where people come to pay their respects, as culturally and historically, Chile is more of a Catholic place with Catholic beliefs. Now, Cartagena is not just some random city either. The city is somewhat known because of a very famous writer and poet named Vicente Huidobro. Vicente Huidobro was known for several of his books about poetry, about love, about freedom, and especially some of his very wise and very beloved quotes in a lot of these books. Some poets believe that he had the most important piece of Latin American literature of all time in his book Altazor. But ultimately, his lines and quotes speak for themselves, as my favorite is a pretty simple one of him saying, "If I don't do one crazy thing a year, I'd go crazy." It's a beautiful quote, and honestly, in my opinion, a beautiful way to live as well. Now, Vicente Huidobro was not from this city originally. He was actually from Santiago, but this is where he chose to reside during the last few years of his life, which, in my opinion, shows the value of this city. This is the city where he was buried and where his house still stands. His house has now become turned into a museum, which I would definitely recommend seeing, as most poets' houses here in Chile, like Pablo Neruda, Gabriela Mistral, or Vicente Huidobro, are absolutely stunning. They also do a great job in explaining the story of his life and the influence he had, not just in Chile, but all over the world. Now, that influence still remains to this day, as I was actually able to purchase a book of Gabriela Mistral, as you can see here, off of a street vendor who was also a poet himself. He even was written about in newspapers and taken on TV in his time to perform his art. It's amazing the things and the people that you can find in these hidden and beautiful places. The reality of these cities and these types of cities is that there really aren't many people that visit these places anymore. They're not filled with the best economies, so basically they become forgotten cities with abandoned houses or structures that aren't very well kept. But to me personally, there's still a lot of beauty, not just in the architecture and the houses or the structures themselves, but to me there's still a lot of beauty held within this city with these abandoned houses, structures, where you can just see how much history was held within this place, how many good times. And to me, the history that you can see bursting through these walls, filled in the eyes of the locals, is still an absolutely beautiful and wonderful thing that I'm glad that I was able to see. Most of these locals are just doing their best to get by most of the time. And when you see most of the places in Cartagena, it truly looks to be a place or a city that was lost in time. But hopefully you can be a rediscoverer of this city and many cities alike, and give them the importance that they need for them to be able to survive and hopefully grow once again. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll be able to stick around for more. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe so that you can see some more in the future, as I will definitely be making more. And thank you for joining me on this journey to discover the places that are best for you to travel and also best for the people in those cities.